There's a day 2 somewhere.
Yeah. Fun fact, our cake was fake. We're finally on YouTube.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome to our channel. I am Betty.
I am Ken.
And we are the Rages. So the last video we posted was about our wedding. And that was kind of a short intro of our beginning, our start in this crazy journey that we chose to do life together. So yeah, this week we want to discuss that video, talk a bit about our wedding, how to plan a wedding, tips and tricks that we learned along the way. Hopefully if you're going along the same journey, we might help you with a few shortcuts. Yeah.
A few shillings.
Yeah. A few tips here and there.
Don't make the mistakes that we made.
Yeah. If you do follow either of us on Instagram, we recently posted a Q&A, and as we talk, I hope we cover the questions that were answered and even more.
Questions
that were asked.
We
and
cover
even
questions
more.
that were asked and more. We try to shed light into this special journey.
Yeah, what we think is important to know as you're doing it. Now, the first thing, you decided you want to get married. You know, the movies like showing us how, will you marry me? Yes, church bells, and they lived happily ever after. There's a whole process to it. And the first thing, when you decide you want to get married, is choosing...
Person?
No, I mean...
Alright, so past now choosing the person, falling in love with each other. The next 2 crucial decisions that now cover the whole wedding should be a date and location. When choosing a date, we have high and low seasons.
Now we had ours in December. We did not check if it was high and low season. Whatever, we wanted a specific date in December.
Yes.
And that's because Mr. Rage over here is born on the 4th of December, and 7 days later is my birthday, the 11th of December. So we said, okay, 7 days later, our wedding, our anniversary. And then 7 days after that is Christmas. And 7 days after that is New Year's. And 7 days after that is my dad's birthday. So we decided to just keep December jam-packed, and that's how we chose our date.
We were locked on 18th of December.
Yeah.
And second thing we had to answer was, or rather ask ourselves, was what was our ideal location?
Yeah. So at first we really wanted, if you know us, you know we travel a lot. We like to be everywhere doing everything. We're always on the move. So we really wanted an out of town location, but that didn't work out because of the elderly people that had to be part of our wedding. We had to accommodate them and they couldn't travel.
And plus we were fresh out of inter-county lockdowns.
Yes.
Fresh out of restricted gatherings.
Yeah,
very
if
low
you
numbers.
remember in 2020, around that time is when they were lifting the inter-county cessation of movement something. So we do want to book somewhere, and then up to the day there's another lockdown and another, so we had to keep it in Nairobi. The next one is not the colors, the cake, the dress, it is the government. The government of Kenya does not care how romantic you want to be or whatever your plans are. There's a whole process that has to be done beforehand, and once you have your date, you have to count back the number of days to start this process.
So first things first you have to do is the groom has to log in into their eCitizen account and book for a marriage clearance certificate.
Yeah. So basically you're asking the government for permission to get married.
Yes.
Now,
so with that you will have to fill your details and pay a certain fee, which should be around 600. Last we checked was 600 Kenya shillings for the application as the first thing you pay. And this is a 21-day notice, saying basically should anyone have any objection against this to getting married.
So literally they're giving you they're giving everyone 21 days to object.
Yeah.
If we go and say we want to get married, they're like, okay, pause. They put it up on a physical notice board that these two want to get married, and if anyone has anything against them getting married, speak now.
So it's also good to note that once the notice has been applied, the 21-day notice, it's advised to go there physically and check if it's actually up on the board.
You need to confirm. Remember your date, whatever date you've chosen. So far we've counted 21 days back. Keep counting.
Then you have to apply, and actually you need to book for an in-person interview with the registrar.
So this interview is basically for both of you to show up and prove that you're not under duress. I mean, you could have kidnapped me and taken my documents and said, oh, we are getting married but she's not available today, you know. So you both have to show up and say, yes, we do have the intent to get married, and we're both of age, and we're both willing, and what else? Like
we have the necessary documentation.
Yeah, we chose. Oh yeah, and you have to have like all your documents to prove.
If you said you guys are Kenyans, both of you are Kenyans, you have to list and carry the relevant documentation. It's a Kenyan and a foreigner, or two foreigners. There's another whole list of documentation that is needed for proof.
Now, these two steps are for all three types of marriages in Kenya. That is civil, where you don't want to have like a wedding day with lots of drama. You just want to go to the AG. Customary, which is you've done those things with the smoke and the fire and those customary things. You've done all of that with your elders, and then now you come and do these two. And what they consider a religious wedding. This is Christian, Hindu, Islam, all of them. So up to those two, we're good.
Yeah. Then after the interview, the service charter stipulates that you have to wait for 3 working days for you to get your certificate. So that's another plus 3 days.
So the 21 days now plus 3.
Plus 3 days. Then for us, we did a contingency 1 week.
We gave it like an extra week just in case.
Just in case there are delays.
Yeah.
And now from that, you have to pick up your clearance certificate, and it's valid for 90 days.
So once they give you that, you've had your interview, they're like, okay, cool, you're good to go. They give you 90 days to get married. Now within those 90 days, if you do not get married, you have to start again from the beginning. Now note, on your wedding day, your vows have to be said and your marriage certificate has to be signed before 6 p.m.
So the Marriage Act in 2014, Kenyan Marriage Act, states that the wedding ceremony, as the vows and the signing certificate, have to be between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. with open doors.
So if you're doing it in a church, the doors must be open. If you're doing it outside, it must be daylight. I don't know what that is. I guess they don't want you to do it in the dark. Guys, just whatever you do, your certificates have to be signed by 6 p.m. in witness of, I think,
2. It has to be 2.
And the pastor, of course.
Whoever is doing it. Pastor is there. That's why there is your best man.
And the best maid.
And the best maid. That's why you need to have 2 witnesses.
And what was I going to say?
We will post the link with all these details in our description, so you can go check it out with the updated prices.
That's just something to keep in mind, because we always rush to do the fun part and then we forget this part that's not so fantastic. But so that is, we're done with the government. Now we go to...
You have your clearance certificates.
You're good to go. At least now you're planning a wedding that you know is legal. You're planning a legal wedding. We go to the vendors. What we learned is it is so much easier to get the least number of vendors who can do the most things, which is...
so basically consolidate your vendors.
Yes, that. So what we did is we had one vendor, our location, which was Hemingway's they did the venue, the photo shoot grounds, the food, the PA system, and of course we stayed there. So
And
accommodation.
tables.
Yeah. Now that one vendor sorted out all of this, so it's, of course it's easier to negotiate, it's less work, less stress, and always ask.
Always ask for last minute discounts. Always ask for extra additions. Ask the chef to throw in something.
The worst thing
It's
they'll
your
do
day.
is say no.
Yeah, Mr. Chef, it's our day.
Hemingway's was fantastic for us because we had a 5-course, and on the 5th course, which was dessert, they agreed to customize the little cake things with our initials and stuff like that. Just adds like a cute touch, a luxury touch to your stuff. So always ask. You never know. You never know what you can get. Hi, Mama. Yeah? I'm recording now. Like you're on camera now. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yes, Mom, we're recording. Okay, where was I?
Don't shy away from asking.
Yes. Then that was one vendor. Our second vendor was Decor. With Decor, always go there knowing what exactly you want, because there is the 1, 2, 3 people who may push you towards a certain thing, and it's not really you, or it's not your taste, or it's not what you planned. So, for example, when I was saying, we want green, black, and gold, there's some places we went and they would push us and say, no, that's not feminine. It needs some feminine energy. You know, it's your day. And I mean, it's his day too. So, yeah, just go there knowing exactly what you want. And if you don't know, then,
okay.
then you can ask for help and say, okay, so how do we go about this? How do we do that? Which colors match if you don't have your colors already? I think every decor company always does a mock setup. So whatever you had planned, they will set it up, show you how it looks. If you don't like it, you change it. And I think that's usually the best, because sometimes you had something in mind and then they do it and you're like, no, that's not what I wanted. For example, remember, I have no idea where we got big flowers.
Also on the limo, we will post.
Oh yeah! What another hack over there is the flowers. Many times the price of flowers will push everything way up. So if you know, especially if you're in Kenya, everyone knows someone who knows someone who has or owns or knows someone else who has a flower farm. Now, buying flowers, even City Market, buying flowers from City Market half the time is cheaper than going through your decor person. Your decor person will mark up, and I mean, if you don't want to go through the hassle, that's also fine. But we needed a lot of flowers. We even had flowers inside the table. We had flowers
on our cake.
In the cake. So we needed lots of flowers. I can't remember if we did that. I know that's a hack, but I can't remember if
we did. But I think we sent somebody.
Yeah, I think we sent somebody to get the flowers for us to give the decor person, and then the decor person gave the cake.
As you get your quotation, make sure it's accompanied with photos.
Next is the cake. So now, fun fact, our cake was fake.
Part of our cake.
Okay, part of our cake was fake. By fake, I mean it was there's a word for it.
It was a dummy.
A dummy, yes, it was.
A dummy cake.
Now, remember, our wedding was during the COVID period. Restricted numbers, we had 50 people. So we couldn't even cut up cake and share it among people, because that's a hazard.
It was a risk.
A risk. So it was a risk. So what we did is we had 𝐏𝐂𝐃𝐈𝐍𝐆 for all the guests, and then the cake that we cut was the only real cake in that setup, that tier cake. So the one on the back was styrofoam. What we did is we asked our guy to decorated the same, and the flowers again from the other vendor. And yeah, because it looks nice, yes, but no one's gonna eat it. And then, I mean, traditions, they're things we don't do. That thing where you have to give your parents cake and then you have to give so our parents are not cake people, and we bake a lot, so there was no need for us to have like monthversary cake in the freezer for 1 month. It didn't make sense for us. So that's another way. If you want to have like a 10-tier wedding cake, you can do 5 real and 5 dummy. No one's gonna know. Well, maybe they'll know if they watch our channel, but I mean, hack for you.
The next thing that you need to plan is the outfits, from the groom, bride to be, and the bridal party, if there is any.
Yeah. One of the questions we received on my Instagram page was, why green? Why did we choose green? I've always known I don't want a white wedding gown, just because I'm extra. But I wasn't exactly sure which color. I wanted red at some point, but I don't know what happened to that. And then I wanted black, but I figured if I wear black, his aunties would think I'm a witch. So I decided, after a lot of Pinteresting, I decided to go with green. Green is a color of wealth and health and a fresh start and rejuvenation and youthfulness, and those are all things I wanted for my marriage. So we did green symbolically. Green was the picture of what our marriage would be. Now, my dress.
The talk of the town.
Thank you guys so much for all the comments and all the love in the dress.
If you haven't seen the dress, check our last week's video.
Oh yeah.
It's there, and everything that we are talking about.
Actually, yes, all these things we're talking about.
After this, go back
and now look at that cake again. Look at the location. Look at everything.
Information.
Yeah. The dress. Many people asked if I designed it, because I do design. That's one of the things I'm involved in. But no, I gave the idea. I had a general idea of what I wanted. I wanted Disney, I wanted princess, I wanted something kind of African, but like bougie African. I don't know if there's anything like that, but yes. So I did a consultation with a company that does renting and hiring out of dresses and gowns, actually, just specifically wedding gowns, and they didn't have exactly what I wanted, but they imported that one in. So it was fantastic. It was exactly what I wanted. And it was hassle-free. I think it came in 6 weeks, and it came so on time. They're fantastic. I'll put
their handle
as well.
And check them out.
Yeah, you can check. They were really good. So what they do is, when they bring in a dress for you, they will not hire it out to anyone else for about a month, to give you time to post your pictures and all that, and then they start hiring it out. And of course, because you made them bring it, maybe they're not planning on bringing it, you pay a bit higher than the ones they have in store. And for me, that's another hack. I don't wear the same thing many times, so much so a wedding gown. There's nowhere else I intend to ever wear that gown. So there was no need for me to buy a permanent, like a dress, and keep it. That dress is massive.
I think if you see it,
that dress was no massive.
Other place
it was like 20 something kgs.
Practically.
Yeah.
If not for,
I know, nowhere.
Halloween or special.
Halloween.
So you guys do costumes. Go as.
But yeah, you get it. There's
I think
nowhere.
you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there's nowhere I would have worn it again. And I just wanted that one time. Oh my gosh, princess. And then that's it. So I opted to rent a gown, which was, of course, the same gown. Buying it would have been, I think, So yeah, do that. Rent a gown. There's no need. I assure you, your daughter will not want to wear it 10, 15, 20 years from now.
The fashion industry is so fast. It's changing so fast.
What my mom wore is not what. Yeah. So your daughter will not, unless you just wanted to keep it for what do you call mementos. If you're that kind of person, enjoy yourself. But we did not have any need for that giant dress to stay with. So I did rent a gown.
I still have my suit.
He has his suit. Luckily, he can like pair it with other things.
Yeah.
So he breaks it, and then it still looks nice for like an evening tux kind of thing. So another thing you need to determine is your guest list. Since I was a little girl, I was always intrigued by the idea of small weddings. I later came to find out that small is relative. I thought that having 20, 30 people at your wedding is the best thing ever, until we were forced by the government to have a maximum of 50 people, inclusive of your service providers. And then I learned it's not as fantastic as I thought to have a 10 people wedding,
Yes, big family.
We both have massive families. That was hard. That was, I would say, before you confirm that you want a small wedding, list all the people you would want. You'd be surprised how many there are. I think we wrote down each person by name, and then we're like, wow, these are many. We
can now say the new definition of small is around 100.
Probably 100, yeah. Because we thought we kept it small.
Yeah.
I think our first list had more than 100 people, and we thought it was small. You know how you're like a few friends, a few colleagues, but your guest list is very important, because of course as you go to your other vendors, then you know how many of what you need. For example, like the decor, we were charged per table. So if you already have the number of people and you need maybe 10 tables or you need 55 tables, then that's way easier with your guest list. Now when doing your guest list, as an African woman, I will tell you have aunties you don't know about. And sometimes you need to have that conversation with your parents on, okay, listen, we're having a wedding, we're doing this. Is there anyone crucial who needs to be here before you go and plan everything, and then your parents come and say, oh, but Auntie Nanim raised you, she was there when you were 5, she has to come. Luckily for us, we didn't have that. Our parents were very easy about it, and they let it be our wedding. Relatives sometimes can be a lot. I remember one of my aunties was not understanding why I need to have a small wedding. Like, it did not make sense. She's like, please understand, you have a big family, so why do you want to have a small wedding? And I mean, we didn't have a committee or a fundraiser or a or a chama of any sort.
So that helped the situation.
So that kind of helped manage expectations. It helped us be like, okay, well, this is what we are doing, this is what we are planning. May God give you the grace and the wisdom of which words to use when it's your turn. But yeah, I think managing relatives' expectations is quite something. Yeah, as you're planning your guest list. Also, there's should I call it the millennial urge to only want the relatives that you know, the relatives that you're friends with. But sometimes when it comes to something as serious as a wedding, there are people you have to involve out of honor, out of respect, out of family ties. Then people will have to be there. So don't say, I'm having 20 people, and if they're mad about it, that's not gonna work well.
It is your wedding day.
Yeah. The wedding is for everyone, the marriage is for you. Yeah. So there's that.
So now the blanket point that covers everything and that is crucial is the budget.
The budget. Yeah.
Everything is spoken about. influences the budget.
Yeah, many people want to have the budget first and then plan the details, but sometimes you set a budget that is not English is disappearing.
What?
It's not.
What
Wait,
she's
the word
trying
is
to
coming.
say-
The word is coming. Wait, it's not. Like it doesn't make sense. What word am I?
Reasonable.
So you've gone through these. You have an idea of the kind of decor you want, the kind of cake, the kind of dress. If you want a specific MC, a specific DJ, you know their rates. Now you need to know all of these before you finalize your budget. How we stuck to our budget was a template that we used. We'll also link that below. It was a fantastic one that has every single thing, even the things you forget, even the things you don't think are important. Like, it's not worth taking a loan. We've had crazy stories where people take loans for a wedding. Can you imagine? You're done with your honeymoon, you come back, and the cake guy is texting like,
Balance.
alafu. Yeah, no, that's
And
it.
now, generally, on budget and finances, avoid debt. Second thing is our journey was interesting. We had to be what we call clay in the potter's hands.
Yeah.
So yes, we have a budget, and yes, we don't want to restrict our faith.
Oh yeah, we allow for miracles. Let me
Yeah.
tell you. You see, sorry, the limo in our video, we had not budgeted for that. That was not part of our plan. Someone surprised us with that, and so we allow space for things for God's hand. We're not stuck like this is the budget and we're sticking to this. We allow space for God's hand, but also just don't be la vida loca. Don't just be vibes and inshallah saying we'll figure it out when we get there. Yet your wedding is in 3 months. Sis, get it together.
So we had to work extra. We had to do some things,
Yeah.
big extra jobs here and there. But while as we journeyed and God blessed us, we would say, now you know this was my budget. You cannot do this.
Oh yeah. So I think the things I know we do for image or so when people come they'll be like, oh, did you see that? And I mean, yeah, it massages your ego, but
What's the post
like and then
status after that?
yeah, it's
Will the image dent your first steps in marriage?
but anyway, I mean have a good time, just not over like at the cost of your peace. Or don't go into debt to make people happy. And also, I know this one is a tricky one. Planning a wedding with this much budget and then calling a committee to pay this much. Guys, let's not. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it, but let's not do that. That's not nice. Yeah, yeah, it's not nice.
As you sign your contracts, the different vendors,
yeah.
make sure you read the fine print.
Always read the fine print. You might find that your vendor, your decor person has to make receipts by 8 p.m. Next thing, you guys are being told to stand up while, it's embarrassing. So always read the fine print. Again, always ask. I think that has covered pretty much the stuff we would like to highlight about our wedding.
And that's the general, like anything else in a wedding comes out of those
Yeah, they're like
subjects.
offshoots.
Offshoots.
Yeah. So I will answer some of the other questions on Instagram that we received. One of them was, what was the hardest part?
I think the hardest part was the guest list. Cutting down, reducing people, try fit into the numbers because of
Yeah.
the government guidelines
Yeah.
on public gatherings.
Yeah.
So
That was rough.
That was rough.
And then of course people know you're about to get. It reached a point where, if you know us personally, people would ask, "Oh, so when's the wedding?" And we're like, "Hey, we just." That time we have like fittings in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But it was so hard to say no to some people, and it was so hard to not have some people there. So yeah, I think the guest list was the hardest part. Oh yeah, so planning was not hard because we did it ourselves. We did not have a plan. And speaking of planning, someone here was asking, does the man have to be so involved in the wedding planning? I'm picturing the kind of guy, a shy guy, basically.
And I think the answer is the man has to be involved.
Yeah.
At least on the major decisions.
On the big ones. So, I mean, men like saying they don't know the difference between red and pink, and that's why you give them that. The lady can choose the colors and the flowers and the flavor of the cake or whatever. But it is his day as well. There's this thing where everyone is like, it's the woman's day and it's the bride's day and it's okay, who's she getting married to? So of course it is his day as well. So there are things, again, practice for when you do get into marriage. As the leader of the home, I think you should have a say in some things, even if it's just for fun. If I give you like 3 different, we go for a cake tasting, I give you 3, you can't tell the difference, just pretend. At least act involved.
We may say that is like a continuous assessment test to your marriage. You start seeing signs of each other that didn't come out when you were dating.
Get involved.
Be like, oh,
you guys are one now.
So I like chocolate cake.
I didn't know you don't like mint.
And that's basically the start of your oneness.
It's a very small version of later in life, how you doing things together. Someone asked, what did you regret doing during and after?
During, I think, because we felt bad reducing our guest list.
Yeah, regret is a strong word, but we felt bad about having to cut off specifically friends from our guest list. And if it's after, feeling bad is meeting everyone and them asking, oh, you didn't invite us to your wedding. Guys, the government, it's not us. Blame the government. If it was the way we wanted it to be, our small wedding would have been at least 100 and something people.
Yeah, on the lower side.
Yeah. If you could do it again, what would you change?
More friends.
I know one thing we would change is on photography, which is another tip.
Yeah.
Always have a list of the specific photos you want. I mean, if you're, again, a mediocre, that's fine. But having a specific list of the photos we wanted would have been a good idea. Because for us, we ended up doing
a good photo shoot.
We did do a good one. I mean, the photos were fantastic.
On some
but we missed
prime
out.
areas.
So we didn't even know.
Reserved.
Later, yes, our contact attendant was like, "Oh, did you guys use this in this location?" And we're like, "What? We didn't even know it existed."
And they had told us about it.
Yeah, I mean, it skipped our mind, but we didn't.
Meetings.
Yeah, we didn't think about it because, of course, you just said your vows, you're finally like, "Oh, my wife." Okay, you're not gonna think, "Oh, okay, I want a picture that looks like this," or "I want a picture with the women in my family." So, yeah, I would have had a list of pictures.
Yes, and also a list of like music to dance to. So what basically you're trying to say is
a
have
playlist.
a no-go or a go zone.
A go-go zone.
A go-go zone or a have-to-go zone for music and photography.
And if you notice, in our previous video, as we're saying our vows, the music is a bit high. Unfortunately, we had to do that because of the copyright laws. Putting the music in the back, but we specifically chose that. For the reception, we were like, just do what you want. Bad idea. These ones, I'll bundle them together. There's how did you handle the bridal lineup and who made the lineup.
Initially, we were not having a lineup.
It was just going to be us and our best couple, and that's it. We sat down and we were like, you know what? Maybe, if we're being honest with just didn't want a bridal party because I have been part of a few weddings and it's just it's not necessary. I mean, apart from the best couple who are your witnesses, the rest are just, how we ended up doing is went with my brother and his wife,
And my sister and her husband.
and one of my favorite cousins.
A very good friend of mine.
And our best couple was our closest,
Marriage.
married couple friends who made their outfits. A good guy. That's all I have to say. Let me ask you, what is it about tailors? Please, someone tell me. Tailors Association of Kenya. What is the matter?
I think
What is the problem?
the only way to cope with this is, together with the government clearance certificates, start your dressing.
Let me tell you, start your outfits as early as possible.
And,
Once you've chosen your
fun
people.
fact, we aimed for a month to the wedding.
Yes, actually.
But guys were like, oh, that a month will eat up and welcome, this would fit.
Listen, a month to the wedding, everything of ours was done.
Done.
All our bills were paid. We're literally just sitting and waiting, except for the outfits, the bridal party outfits. I don't know why. I mean, they're good. The quality was good. The finishing was good. But I just don't understand.
Somebody
You
help
know,
us
stories.
answer that question.
This guy
Also
gave us
share,
stories.
down at the comments, share.
Oh yeah,
experiences.
if you had one of those,
Have you ever had your time?
let me tell you.
Let's laugh at the comment
Let me
section.
tell you, tailors plus character development. Most of them are kind of the same, so oh. Did we have 2 weddings? Yes. No.
We had
Yes and no.
2-day wedding.
We got married We got married once and celebrated over 2 days. Yeah? Yeah. We had one wedding day. No, we had one wedding but 2 wedding days. Something like that.
Maybe it makes sense. Basically, what you were trying to say, the vows and the signing was the first day,
Yeah, all the serious.
but the celebration was
Yeah.
over 2 days.
Yes. So on the first day we had immediate family, and on the second day we had friends. Limited numbers, capped numbers, but the second day was more like a relaxed, more casual day. We slept in. Yeah, we slept in and just had like a fun lunch with them. That's it about our wedding. The Q&As, I hope we answered all the questions. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things. If you're doing this, if you're walking this walk, if you're part of this journey, if you're thinking about it, and if you've already done it, I mean, let us know how yours went. Let us know if you had any hiccups, if there's anything you wished you did.
Enjoy every step of the process. Men out there who are walking the journey, be part of it. Walk with your wives to be, and fit your wedding into your budget, not your budget into your wedding.
I think it's safe to say it is not cheap. Small wedding does not mean cheap wedding. Because many people think, I want a small wedding because of the budget. No. For us, small is the intimacy of the people, not necessarily the budget. So another tip of course is small does not mean cheap. So yeah, your wedding is what you make it.
And guys, marriage is beautiful.
Marriage is fantastic.
For the months we've been married, we haven't looked back.
Yeah, marriage is, I like to say the good, the bad, and the messy, but the grass is always greener where you water it. So don't look at someone's marriage and say, I want mine to be like that. Don't look at someone's wedding and say, I want mine to be like this because mine is like that. You do. Yours is unique. The grass is greener where you water it.
Water your grass, enjoy your marriage.
And And yeah, call us for your weddings. You don't have to come to your wedding. I love weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you
Thank
guys.
you guys. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, comment, and share with a friend.
Thank you for coming.